Greetings, Dragonball fans, and welcome to part 10 of What If Vegeta Killed Gohan. As per your votes, Beerus has arrived, and his desire for the Super Saiyan God has met very little resistance. Combining the lack of good booze pudding incident with the inkling of respect Gohan has for the deity over their, shall we say, shared disdain for a certain old Kai, they are much more accommodating. Gohan has also been pushed to the edge of his capabilities, unveiling a strange new step in the Super Saiyan ladder. Failing to produce the Super Saiyan God, though, because there are simply not enough Saiyans, Bulma floats the idea of visiting the past once again. Gohan refuses to go, but his recently graduated pupil, Videl, is more than eager. She never got the chance to say goodbye, so after some words of warning, she and the excited Jinbei, who honestly I probably should have just called Trunks, ascend in the time ship and vanish into the past. Also, a very special thanks to StevDes for providing some vocals for this part. You can check out his channel and what ifs in the description below. The time ship appears again above a very different looking Capsule Corp warehouse. After disgorging its occupants, it shudders in the air and folds into an oversized capsule. Videl catches it and slots it into her container before flying off towards Orange City. As they pass by Mount Paozu, Videl is struck by the scene. There should be a memorial park there now. Or then. Back home at least. The hot pools in the middle, surrounded by all those peaceful gardens. Places to ponder and remember. Here, it's just some mountain. They arrive at Orange City and land outside the impressive, if slightly gaudy, Satan Castle Dojo. Making their way inside the living areas she remembers from her youth, they are stopped by a young girl. Hands on hips, she asks just what they're doing here in the private section. Trying to sneak in to meet her dad? She's seen them before, hasn't she? Obviously just another trollop trying to cozy up to her father, isn't she? Well, he's resting right now. Saving the world is a tough job. It can't really be her, can it? Should she hug her and tell her how lucky she is, or... Wait, save the world? From what? Not the androids? Androids? No, that silly Bugman. The best fighters in the world had faced him, one by one, and lost. Only her dad had prevailed. Somehow, she says, trailing off for a moment. The future Videl says that she would very much like to meet him. They both would, but Jinbei just shrugs, a bit bored. He asks if her dad is a really strong fighter. A voice booms from behind them.
A strong fighter? The Mr. Satan? I'm the champ! World Martial Arts Champion and squasher of devious bugmen!
When the older Videl turns to see him, they both freeze. Videl? No, older. Not tired, but more worn? He certainly does not expect her to materialize with her arms already around him, the tears already flowing. What feels like several awkward minutes later, they release. This is absolutely Videl, who is also standing over there with a very disapproving look on her face. In front of his own daughter? What's he done to this one? Obviously they know each other, too well for her liking. They get some tea, and the older Videl, who, after confirming to her father that she is who she is, introduces herself to her younger self as Miguel's long-lost sister, and her namesake, also called Videl. An actual aunt this time? Not just another one of those random auntie so-and-sos who flow in and out of her father's company? Oh, thank God. As they drink, future Videl asks her slightly bewildered dad about the last year or so. Who's this Cell guy her, niece was talking about?
Well, he was just some man in a nasty-looking bug suit who pretended to terrorize a few villages, then threatened to blow up the planet. Certainly pretended. When the police went in to check, after the so-called Cell Games ended, those villagers were fine and none the wiser. Maybe they'd all been paid off. Anyway, he was wanting a good fight, so a good fight is what he got. When I'd first entered the ring, the Bugman used some kind of fancy tricks and obviously rigged tiles to eject the champ. He probably wanted to face the weaker challengers first, to build tension before the main event. Evil Bugman for sure, but man, what a showman! If I hadn't had to squash him, I'd have hired the man to run the Satan brand PR machine. So, after I was so underhandedly removed from the arena, these obviously planted fighters step up, one by one. First that small bald guy. Oh man, he had some moves, and that look of determination. A top-class actor. The fire suit and flaming frisbees were cool too. The wire work alone must have cost a fortune. The way he pretended to chop the Bugman up, then the laser show, stacking the frisbees as shields before taking a knockout. Man, Who was next? The green guy, wasn't it? Yeah, he was pretty impressive too. Quite the contrast to the previous guy. But they were just trying to hype the crowd up. You know, the green guy probably wasn't even real. Just a fancy hologram or something. The way he kept vanishing and reappearing somewhere else, we never did find out what company they worked with. Real cutting-edge stuff, let me tell you. Then there was the spiky-haired guy. Looked kinda like you, kid, but with black hair. Well, I guess he was a hologram too. They turned on their fire suits again. Oh, did I mention the fire suits? You could feel the heat coming from the sidelines. But this guy had yellow flame instead of red like the previous two. But then they both just kind of vanished for a minute, and some fireworks went off the ring. Then after that, most of the ring just blew apart. It was all kind of dumb. You've gotta show the audience what's happening, you know. I wonder who got the bill for all the busted cameras. The spiky-haired guy was on the ground, though. Then, man, get this. Then this little kid, no older than my Videl here, stepped up. They dispensed with the arena rules and demo-rigged the remaining tiles. I've got to find their effects team. Yeah, so they faced each other on the ground, just stared at each other with the bug man throwing insults at the little guy. Child actors these days are something else. He didn't even flinch. So they do another vanishing trick. There's more fireworks around and above where the ring was. It was weird and pointless. Or they trying to tell the audience. Anyway, this time, when the kid appears smacked to the ground, it's not a disqualifier. And this is where it gets weird. The kid switches on the red flames as well as the yellow, and then he punches Cell in the stomach. And he throws up some poor girl. Just spits her out, all gooey and covered in slime. Yuck. Then a second hit, and this is so gross. The bug man spits up some guy, and a third hit, and another dude comes out. These are full-size bodies, too. Where'd he hide them? So the bug man is all twitching and convulsing. He starts to shrink down to some sort of spindly version. I don't know how to describe it. Creepy? Sure as heck ain't gonna say weird another time. Next thing, he's inflating like a balloon, and they're all stepping away from him. This left him wide open for me to come in and finish him off. So I did. Remember that, Videl? I just walked up and popped that balloon with one punch. Yeah! Between you and me, though, it was mostly holograms, fireworks, heat lamps, and lots of wind machines. You should have seen the crowd. They were in awe of that punch, though. Just BAM! I still got the bruise, see?
Jinbei has been enjoying the story, even with the colorful details glossed over. He is itching to talk to his, dad? And grandpa. Future Videl, meanwhile, is more slowly reconciling what she's hearing with what she knows is possible. That distant, almost reverent look on her younger self's face when he was talking about the other fighters? She's got her own story to tell. But they're on a mission. She doesn't want that mean-looking kitty cat waiting too long, so they bid a tearful farewell outside of the dojo, and Videl hugs her younger self, whispering something in her ear. They then turn, and, forgetting that this world isn't big on the whole flying people thing, they casually float up into the air and glide off. Videl looks up at her aunt, floating away, with a big smile on her face. Hercule's face, or at least his chin, is on the ground. They arrive back at Cap, no, it's still West City, and locate the old HQ. As they descend, they are met by a short, spiky-haired gentleman. He greets them politely and shows them inside, where they meet Bulma and... Oh, that's right. Gohan doesn't live here, does he? Bulma, having spotted Jinbei, smiles, understanding the confusion. Jet, please show these two to the Son home. This way, please, the spiky-haired man says. Thanks, dear. Passing the oddly disturbing Mount Paozu yet again, they land near the Son house and are met by Chi-Chi. Master Gohan's mother? Oh wow, it's really his mum. Hi, Grandma, Jinbei says, recalling his last trip here. He dives in for a hug, but stops when his brother crawls out of the house. What? How'd Goku get here? Why is he a baby? Oh, no, that's Goten. She and her Goku have had another child together. With Jinbei playing with little Goten, Videl and Chi-Chi talk. Yes, our Gohan and Bulma have looked into that Boo thing, but right now he is off interviewing for schools. He promised his dad a training day at Capsule Corp with Jet if he went with him and didn't say too much. This Destroyer God thing sounds scary, though. As if on cue, Gohan and Goku appear outside. Goku wants to train, huh? Oh man, he has no idea. Videl again lays out the issue with Beerus and what their Shenron has said. They need 6 Saiyans, so, how many are here? Well, there's Goku, Gohan, and Baby Goten. Oh, and Bulma's self-granted wish of a perfect boyfriend. That's 4 if half Saiyans qualify. This younger Gohan is curious, though. Just what is a pure-hearted Saiyan? Pure-hearted as in kind and caring, or prideful, vicious killing machine? Videl doesn't know. It's just what the dragon had said. Could they all come? Actually, Chi-Chi, Videl doesn't think her former master is over losing her. She's not at all sure if he wants to say goodbye all over again. Chi-Chi is certainly upset by this, but remembering their last goodbye, she can understand. But Goten stays here. He's not even 1 yet. So Goku, Gohan, and Jet gather back at Capsule Corp and prepare to depart. Bulma asks Gohan to look after him, please. He's, not that clued in, socially, The ship then lifts off and vanishes, heading back to the future. When it lands on the outskirts of Bulma's birthday party, the remaining crowd gathers to see who comes out. First Videl, then Jinbei, then the younger Gohan, and the older Goku, and finally, there is a collective gasp as Vegeta steps into the doorway and looks around curiously. He pauses when he makes eye contact with a tall, thin man in a shredded gi. There's an odd, intent look on the man's face. This older Gohan's hair isn't wafting at all. It's standing on end, bright golden green. The younger Gohan sees the flash and realizes their mistake. He steps in front of Jet and motions to the man to go back inside. It's not your Bulma, man. Just, please, go back inside for a sec, okay? As Jet retreats back into the ship, Gohan turns back to his older self and smiles awkwardly. That's not, it's not him, okay? It's a clone. Sorry, I, didn't think about it. Are we okay here? Bulma moves up next to her Gohan and takes his hand, practically dragging him away from the ship, back to the chair, and more food. As they go over the proposed ritual, Beerus gets a good look at the Saiyan who helped kill Frieza. He recognizes him from the staff's playback. Wait, isn't he supposed to be dead? He looks over at Whis, who in turn is looking back and forth between the two Gohans, and the older Goku and Jinbei. Can his eyebrow go any higher? Probably not. This older Goku is chosen as the subject for this experiment. He's the only pure-blood Saiyan that Gohan is willing to even look at, let alone pour his energy into. They form the ring with past Goku, present Goku, Jinbei, Punch, past Gohan, and present Gohan, and they turn on the glow. The energy flows and flickers, pulsing back and forth between the two Gohans and Goku and Jinbei. But nothing happens. There is no bright light, no red hair, no God Key. Whis takes this moment to chime in with a probable why. You need 6 Saiyans for this to work, don't you? There are only 4. 4? Okay, so removing one of the Gohans, that leaves 5. Nope. Whis taps Jinbei on the head and then turns to the past, fully grown Goku. The same, the angel says. The same soul inhabits both of them. How curious. What? The same? The older Gohan looks into his thoroughly confused son's eyes, then over at his father. What? How? Whis laughs aloud when he figures it out. The reincarnation form is simple enough if the soul chooses, but to pick the body? That's some serious paperwork. To even be on the same planet is already a mountain of forms. But picking the body? The requisition forms alone would fill the check-in station floor to ceiling. Some Kai had to have pulled so many strings. Maybe even pushed it all the way upstairs for approval. When the younger of the two named Gokus asks if he's his soul too, Whis pauses to stare at him. A split soul? Why would he think that? No, he doesn't have any part of that soul. He was... a green one. Like him over there, Whis says, gesturing over at Akumu. Piccolo? The older Gohan says. All this time, they came back to me? This crushing hug goes on way too long for Beerus's liking, and he's finally starting to do the math. This is wrong. This is all wrong. He rounds on the equally stunned Shin for a moment, then, seeing his confusion, he stomps over to the happily dozing Daikaioshin. Did he know about this? These mortals are, he struggles to say it, they're time-traveling. The well-fed Daikaioshin, however, isn't overly concerned. Now they've done pretty well for themselves, and the impact is minimal. Does Beerus really want to argue about responsibilities, right here, right now? Besides, he wants his precious rival, doesn't he? So, can Gohan accept this Vegeta into the circle, or will he step out of it instead? Either way, that would make 2 named Gokus, 1 Gohan, Jet, Punch, and a very pregnant Bulma. Remember to check out the voice of the champ, StevDes, over on his channel. As for us, find out what happens next time on Dragon Ball. What if Vegeta killed Gohan?
Oh, yeah. There you go, Kaizen Ball. A nice sexy burp for you.